Hello students, today we are going to start a new chapter and the chapter will be related to your banking. We are living in an era of banking, we are living in the age of banking, so the topic becomes so much important, interesting. I hope the topic will be interesting, exciting one actually. When you talk about banking, before going to define about bank, what is it bank? Let me talk about something different, let me talk something about that is structure of banking system. So when you talk about the structure of banking system, then naturally it comes to my mind that the structure of banking is being classified under two heads. One will be under your central banking and one will be your commercial banking. So when you talk about the banking system, the structure of banking is being mainly classified under two heads. One will be your central, one will be your commercial. You listen very carefully, a very interesting topic for you to understand. I hope you will enjoy the class. Central. As the name indicates itself, central means apex, central means key, central means prime, central means topmost, supreme. So central bank, when you talk about central bank, it is the supreme bank of the country, any country you take. You not only talk about India, you talk about each and every country of the world. When you talk about central bank means supreme topmost bank of the each and every country. So central bank stands at the apex. You talk about central bank, it is the apex of banking system. At the top of the banking system, there is central bank. And on the other hand, there is your commercial bank. So when you talk about the structure of banking system, it naturally comes to your mind that the structure of banking system is being classified under two heads. One will be your central banking and one will be your commercial banking. It is applicable for each and every country. Each and every country, the structure of banking system is classified under two heads. One will be your central banking and one will be your commercial banking. And central bank stands for supreme, central bank stands for topmost, central bank stands for almost each and every major financial decisions. So that is why it is called central banking. Central financial organization of each and every country is called your central bank. Commercial bank, the name indicates itself. The commercial bank, the purpose is purely commercial. So when you talk about central bank, the purpose is different. When you talk about commercial bank, the purpose is different actually. When you talk about central bank actually, central bank in each and every country, there must be a single central bank. I am talking about the countries of the world. I am talking about each and every country of the world. Wherever you go, you will find a single central banking system. A central bank will be always one and only one will be in each and every country. Take for example India. When you talk about India, there will be a single central bank and the central bank is known as your RBI. The Central Bank of India is called your RBI. The Central Bank of India is called your RBI. Like the Central Bank of USA is called your Federal Reserve System. So in each and every country, there will be a single central bank. So you can say that central bank in each and every country, there will be a single central bank. It is only one. But when you talk about commercial bank, you talk about the commercial bank, there will be more than one commercial banks. So now it is clear, in each and every country, there will be a single central bank and in each and every country, there will be more than one commercial banks. Are we clear? So this is the distinction, the prime distinction between central bank and commercial bank. Next, come to the purpose of discussion. When you talk about the purpose, the objective of central bank, the objective of central bank is to maintain price stability with economic growth. The objective, the sole purpose of each and every central bank in each and every country is to maintain price stability. Remember, very interesting point, very important point you to understand. The central bank is always discharged with the responsibility of making price stability in the country, controlling inflation and deflation. I am taking very practical, and economic development. Basic objective of the central bank lies in price stability with economic development. But when you talk about commercial bank, the objective of commercial bank is to get maximum profit. Name indicates it, commercial in nature. Commercial bank means commercial in nature. Central bank means, I told you that the objective is to maintain price stability and economic growth. The objective of commercial bank is to get profits motive. So this is the objective of a commercial bank, I told you. Now you will be, so when we are discussing point by point, you are much able to understand the clear concepts. You are much able to understand the distinction between central bank and commercial bank. I am hopeful that you will be understanding the distinction between commercial central bank and commercial bank. I am making the concept of banking very clear. The structure of banking system in each and every country is divided under two heads. One will be a central bank, one will be a commercial bank. And in each and every country there will be a single central bank, but in each and every country there will be more than one commercial bank. So when you talk about central bank, the purpose of central bank is to maintain price stability with economic growth, but the purpose of commercial bank is to get profit motive, because the name itself is commercial in the sense profit motive. Understood? When you talk about the central bank, actually it doesn't deal with people directly. Central bank doesn't deal with people directly, but commercial bank deals with the people directly. One more interesting point of discussion. You will know that central bank doesn't deal with the people directly, Commercial bank always deal with the people actually indirectly. Central bank is a banker to governments. Central bank is a banker to bank, but commercial bank is a banker to private institutions and general public. Central bank is a banker to government. Central bank is a banker to bank, whereas commercial bank is a banker to private institutions and commercial bank is a banker to general public. I am hopeful that you know the difference between central bank and commercial bank. In course of our discussion, we have discussed 4 to 5 points. You understand the depth of banking system lies in the central bank at the top. Central bank is the regulating authority of the monetary system, financial system in each and every country. It is at the top, it is standing at the top level, and whereas the commercial banks are decentralized in each and every part of the country. That is why it is known as your commercial banks. And if you talk about commercial banks also, you can further divide it in commercial banks under two heads. One will be coming as your public sector commercial banks or nationalized commercial banks. And one will be also coming as your private sector commercial banks. Commercial banks can be classified under two heads. One is your public sector commercial bank, one is your private sector commercial banks. Public sector commercial banks will be known as your nationalized commercial banks. You talk about State Bank of India, you talk about Andhra Bank, you talk about Indian Overseas Bank, you talk about Canara Bank, you talk about Dena Bank, all will be coming under nationalized public sector commercial bank. Whereas banks like ICICI Bank, banks like HDFC Bank, banks like Axis Bank, banks like Karur Vysya Bank, banks like ING Vysya Bank, banks like Kotak Mahindra Bank, they will be coming under the category of a private sector commercial bank. So this is the classification about your, I am talking about the classification of commercial bank. But central bank is always one. This is not a private, this is a purely a government statutory organization. That is your central bank. So I am hopeful that you know the difference between central bank and commercial bank from the points. I am repeating once again. In each and every country, there is a single central bank. In each and every country, there is more than one commercial bank. It is easy for you to remember actually. When you talk about like this, then it becomes very easy for you to understand the distinction between central bank and commercial banks. For you, it is important to know the difference, because when you know the difference, you go to the topics. Later on, we will discuss about the functions of commercial bank. We will discuss about functions of central bank. We will discuss about credit creation policy. We will discuss about credit control policy. So the picture will become very clear when you talk about the distinction between central bank and commercial bank. Second point is that the central bank has the objective of maintaining price stability and economic growth, and the objective of commercial bank is to get profit motive. Remember one thing, very interesting point. Central bank never work for profit. Central bank of each country never work for any profit motive. It always work for the people's welfare. It always work for the country's welfare, and the country's welfare lies how to maintain price stability, how to control inflation and deflation. It always remains a challenge before the central bank. Controlling inflation, controlling deflation remains always the challenge before the central bank, and also the maintaining economic growth is remaining the. All type of major financial and fiscal and monetary policies are being discussed, are being decided by the central bank. No such function is being assigned to the commercial bank because commercial banks right from the starting has been the task handed over, that is a profit motive. Commercial bank has the objective, has the purpose to get profit motive. Might be it is a public sector commercial bank or a private sector commercial bank. I have classified now that commercial banks can be classified under two heads. One will be your nationalized commercial banks, one will be your private sector commercial banks. I told the example, SBI, Andhra Bank, Indian Overseas Bank, Dena Bank, Commercial Bank, all are the category of the public sector or nationalized commercial bank. Menace, it's a government undertaking, whereas Axis Bank, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, then Kotak Mahindra Bank are the examples of private sector commercial bank. So whether it may be public or whether maybe it's private, all type of commercial banks have the purpose of profit motive. Then the third point comes the distinction that commercial central bank acts. Central bank is a banker to government. Central bank is a banker to the bank. Central bank deals with the government. Central bank deals with the commercial bank. Central bank have a relation with the commercial bank. But central bank doesn't deal with general public directly. Remember one thing. Central bank doesn't deal with the general public directly. But commercial banks generally deals with the public. Generally deals with the private organizations, generally deals with the private institutions. It always deals with the general public. So this point of distinction will make you clear to understand the picture that what is the position the central bank enjoys in a country and what is the position that commercial bank enjoys in a country. I am repeating once again the point. Central bank is a banker to the government. Central bank can deal with the government. Central bank can accept the deposit. Central bank can give loan to the government. Central bank like that actually can help to the commercial banks, can give loans, can give financial assistance to the commercial banks, but doesn't deal with the public directly. It never deals with the public directly, whereas commercial bank always deals with the public directly because the purpose is to get maximum profit. The main purpose of the commercial bank is to get profit motive. That is why I am telling that. So I have given a clear picture of distinction about central bank and commercial bank. I feel that it is important to discuss about the structure of banking system once you go to about discussion. Now I will tell you that we generally know that what is a bank actually. Still I will tell you that. I will simply tell something about a commercial bank. In the topic we will discuss commercial banks, functions of commercial banks. I will discuss about credit creation policy of commercial banks. We will discuss about principles of commercial banks. We will discuss about the essentials of a sound banking system, and we will discuss about central bank functions, central bank credit control policy. So this is the part of our discussion. So I feel that it is important for you to understand the structure of banking system before going to discuss about the functions and other things. Because in each and every, I am not talking about the structure of India, I am talking about the structure of general banking system. The structure of banking system is classified like that. So why I felt important is that it will give you a clear-cut picture about the central bank and commercial bank. And the Central Bank of India is known as your Reserve Bank of India. The Central Bank of America is known as your Federal Reserve System, like that. But in each and every country, there must be a single central bank that stands at the apex, that stands at the topmost, that stands at the supreme position of each and every country. But commercial bank is always more than one. It is not one. It is more than one. It may be 100. It may be 1,000. It may be 1 lakh. So there is no limit to commercial bank. That is always more than one. So now you got the idea about the structure of banking system. Now I will discuss about commercial bank. Commercial bank's functions. For some time we will discuss the functions of commercial bank. Before that, let me tell you about what is bank. So I felt necessary that now I will discuss about bank. It's not like that. You don't have any idea about bank. You have studied. You have come a long way. So I hope that you understand the meaning of a bank. Generally speaking, when you talk about a bank is a financial organization. A bank is a financial institution which accepts deposits from the surplus funds and which advances loans to the deficient funds. You talk about a bank. When you talk about a bank, you should think that a bank is always a financial intermediary. A bank is always a financial intermediary. A bank is a financial intermediary. It is playing the role of a mediator. It is playing the role of an agent. Between whom? Between the surplus funds and between the deficit funds. Understand the concept? I am talking about the surplus fund and the deficit fund. So, if you talk about the practical point, surplus funds means from where we will get the fund, from where the fund will be surplus, the person who will want to deposit, they will be coming under the category of surplus fund. The persons who are known as depositor, the persons who come to the bank as depositor actually, they belong to the category of surplus fund. So the bank is a financial intermediary, a bank is a financial organization, a bank is a financial agent which plays the role of intermediary between the surplus fund and between the deficit fund. Or you can say between the depositor and between the borrower, between the lender and between the lender and between the borrower. So it is the definition, it is the meaning of a bank. It is the bank is a financial intermediary actually which accepts deposits from the public. Who will make deposits? Obviously who have surplus, they will deposit, and advances loans to the public. To whom it advances the loan? It will advance loan to them who are in deficit of funds, who are in the need of funds. Understood? So this is the simple meaning of bank. I think you have some idea about also bank. So I defined that bank in this way. The bank is a financial organization. A bank is a financial institution, financial intermediary that plays a role between the depositors and between the borrowers, that accept deposits from the public and advances loans to the required persons. This is the meaning of a bank. Bank in the sense is a commercial bank. When you talk about, I told why I give the clear picture of central bank and commercial bank is that you should not be confused between central bank and commercial bank. Before you discuss about commercial bank functions, credit creation policies, all the things, central bank function, credit control policy, it is important for you to understand the difference between central bank and commercial. That is why I put a clear picture of central bank and commercial bank before you, so that you feel that you're comfortable while talking about the functions of commercial bank, talking about credit creation policy of commercial bank, talking about central bank functions, talking about the credit control policy of the central bank. Chalo. So let us go, today I will discuss something about the functions of commercial bank. So now the picture is clear. I write the difference. I can add one more point that deals with the people directly, doesn't deal with the public directly, deals with public directly. Now let us discuss about the functions of central bank, functions of commercial bank. We will proceed to discuss about functions of commercial bank. When you talk about functions of commercial bank, then we can classify the functions under 5 heads. I am just writing one by one. First function comes as your acceptance of deposits, acceptance of deposits. Second point comes as your advancement of loans. Third point comes as your credit creation. Fourth point comes as your agency functions. Last point comes as your general utility functions or general utility services. So these are the basic points of discussion regarding the functions of commercial banks. Just I am putting the highlights, then we will go about discussion. Acceptance of deposits, I I'm repeatedly telling that a commercial bank cannot exist without deposits. A commercial bank cannot come into picture without deposit. Without deposit, commercial bank is zero. A commercial bank stands at zero when you do not talk about deposits. So commercial bank starts from deposits. Commercial bank functions from the deposits. The strength of commercial bank lies in the deposits. Nowadays, we are talking that SBI is nowadays leading the nationalized commercial banks. SBI is the topmost commercial bank. Now we are talking is that Axis Bank is also a topmost private sector commercial bank. Now we are talking that ICICI is the biggest commercial bank. So the strength of the commercial bank lies in the deposits, because the deposits, the amount, the volume of deposits it will receive, it will easy for the commercial bank to circulate as a loan. The lending capacity will be multiple, the lending capacity will be double, the lending capacity will be more. That is why the strength of a commercial bank depends on the deposit, and it becomes challenge for each and every commercial bank that it always focus on deposit mobilization. Nowadays, actually, every commercial bank is targeting to get deposit mobilization. Might be the rural area, might be the urban area, doesn't matter, but the first and the foremost task, the first and foremost activity of a commercial bank lies how to make surplus funds. How to make surplus fund. Surplus fund in the debt, in the sense how to make deposits. The prime responsibility of the commercial bank, the prime challenge of a commercial bank is to how to motivate the depositors, how to convince the depositor, and how to get the depositor. Because the strength, because the loan capacity, I'm telling very frankly, I'm telling very practical point. Commercial bank accept deposits, commercial bank advance loans. In between, commercial bank is playing the role of intermediary. When commercial bank is accepting deposits, it charges some interest rate, it provides some interest to the customers. When commercial bank receives deposit from the customer, it provides some interest to the customer. And while it advances loans, it charges some interest from the customers. It charges some interest from the borrower. So, to the borrower, it charges some slightly high rate of interest. To the depositors, it provides some low rate of interest. In between, they get the profits. Take for example, if it charges, if it provides 6%, if it provides 6% of rate of interest to the depositor, then it charges 7% or 7.5% of interest to the borrowers. In between, the profit margin might be 1% or might be 0.5% that commercial bank gets. That is why the strength, I'm repeatedly telling, the strength of commercial bank lies in how much deposit a commercial bank mobilize itself. Each and every commercial bank target to get how to make deposit strong actually. Then the second point, the second function, it goes for advancement of loans. Keeping deposits, accepting deposits is a challenge of commercial bank. Equally challenge before the commercial bank is to advancement loans, because I told that accepting deposits at a lower interest rate, giving loans at a higher interest rate, then it is getting the profit. So if it is not diverting the deposits to the in a proper loan manner, in a proper loan channel, then it cannot get the proper profit. Then the objective of commercial bank cannot be fulfilled. But the objective of commercial bank is to get maximum profit. That is why the next task, the next activity after getting deposits is to how to advance loans, how to provide loans to the needy customers. That will not be a part of bad debt. That will be always part that is repayable after the maturity. Then third point comes your credit creation. And nowadays, the important task, the important function of a commercial bank is credit creation. If we talk about the acceptance of deposits and advancement of loans, the traditional function, credit creation is a modern function of a commercial bank. Understand? If you talk about, you had from your beginning, from your birth, the bank always takes deposits and advances loans. So these are the traditional functions of a commercial bank. But credit creation nowadays plays an important role in the modern function of a commercial bank. How does a commercial bank multiple the credit? How a commercial bank actively multiplies the credit? That is the challenge before the commercial banks. It's a magic function, we can say. Credit creation is the magic function of each and every commercial bank. And the efficiency, the success of commercial bank depends on the credit creation capacity of a commercial bank. So this is your third point. And Fourth point is your agency function, intermediary function you can say. I told you in the beginning that commercial bank is nothing but it is playing an intermediary role. Intermediate role between two parties. Intermediate role between two parties. It is playing an intermediary or agency role between two parties and it is accepting some charges for that. It is making some charges for that. And the roles performed by commercial bank between two parties, the roles, the task, the played by the commercial bank between two parties, the agency role played by commercial bank between two parties is known as your agency functions of commercial banks. Then come to the last, your general utility functions actually. When you talk about general utility functions, it comes that it provides some utility services to the customers for which actually nowadays it is playing an important role. Before some time, the general utility functions are not being so much important, but nowadays actually we are living in a diversified and multiple society actually. That is why commercial bank has taken the responsibility of providing different utility services like your telephone bill payments. So like that, all the things actually the customers are getting various utility services from commercial bank. It will come as a last functions of commercial banks. So if you highlight about the functions of commercial bank, then we can conclude that commercial banks undertake all this type of functions. Your acceptance of deposit, then comes your advancement of loans, then comes your creditation, then you talk about agency function, then you talk about general utility function. So let us talk about in detail, let us talk about acceptance of deposits. We will discuss about various types of deposits that a commercial bank receives. When you talk about the deposits of commercial bank, usually, broadly we can classify the deposits under 4 heads. And the point will be your current deposits, saving deposits, then comes your term deposits, then comes your recurring deposits. So when you talk about the deposits of commercial bank, then commercial banks deposits can be classified under 4 heads. It is your current deposits, it's your saving deposits, it's your term deposits, it's your recurring deposit. Let us talk about current deposits. First of all, you should understand current deposits are made by the business persons. Current deposits, as the name indicates, it's related to your current turnover. It's related to your real-time settlements, real-time transactions. Current deposits are purely made for real-time transactions. You go to the bank today, you deposit 1 lakh, tomorrow you withdraw 9,000. Again, you go to the bank tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, we deposit 2 lakhs. The next day we withdraw 1.8 lakhs. So it's a regular activity. Current deposit is purely a regular activity. Actually, in current accounts are being specially made by the business persons. You have to remember. When it will be a question and answer pattern, then you have a question that current deposits are made by yes. You should answer the current deposits are made by the business persons. Now, question comes here that I told you while the commercial bank accept deposit, then commercial bank provides some interest rate. So you will be definitely excited to know how much interest rate, what type of interest rate central bank, commercial bank obliged to pay on current deposits. Actually, honestly speaking, on current deposits, commercial bank doesn't provide any rate of interest. Commercial bank doesn't oblige to pay any interest on current deposits because current deposit is a real-time turnover. Commercial bank doesn't feel confident to provide the deposit to divert the deposit as a loan purpose. Because once a customer comes and deposit 1 lakh today, tomorrow there is a possibility that he will withdraw the entire amount or he will withdraw the 90 or 95% of the cash. So how the bank will divert? How the bank will take the deposit as a loan? The bank cannot divert the resource as a loan. That is why commercial bank do not feel confident over current deposit and commercial bank do not divert the deposit for the loan purpose. That is why commercial bank never gives interest on current deposit. Rather, the business persons, the account holders who are making current deposits, actually they have to provide some charges to the commercial banks in return. You understood? That is the point of current deposits where you should remember that commercial banks never pay an interest on current deposits and they are specially made by the day-to-day business person. Coming to second point, saving deposits. Saving deposits are specially made by the household persons. Saving deposits are made by the household persons actually. Small the banks open actually. Normally, in saving account actually. Now we can say commercial bank is subject to provide some interest rate on saving account if some amount is being fixed, if some amount is being kept in the account for some time. We can say for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. If an amount is fixed in the account, if an amount is being fixed in the account and that is being fixed, that remains fixed for some time, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, then only commercial bank can provide some interest to the customers. Saving deposits are specially made by the household persons. You understood? This is the point you have to understand. Saving deposits. Understood. Commercial bank never will pay any interest when the saving deposits are handled with daily withdrawal facilities like that actually. Because when you talk about the daily withdrawal, then commercial bank cannot divert your deposit amount for the loan purpose. A simple point you have to understand. If commercial bank is paying some interest to you, then you should understand that definitely it gets profit from your deposits. You should understand. When central bank, commercial bank is making you some interest rate payment for your deposit, then you should understand that commercial bank at the same time is getting some profits from your deposits. Profits in the sense it is diverting your money as a loan and it is getting some more interest from the borrower. So if unless and until it doesn't feel confidence to lend your money as a loan, then commercial bank will never pay anything to your deposits. That is why on saving deposits, commercial banks sometimes pay or sometimes also never pay deposits in the saving account. When the commercial bank will pay only when in the saving account, when the deposit will be fixed for some time like 2 or 3 months, then only the commercial bank will pay you some interest charges. You talk about term deposit. Next point is coming your term deposit. When you talk about term deposits actually, term deposits are always known as your fixed deposits. Term deposits are known as your fixed deposits. They cannot be withdrawn before the expiry, before the maturity of the period. Remember one thing. Term deposits are known as fixed deposits. They cannot be withdrawn before the expiry, before the maturity of the period. And in term deposits, commercial bank pays highest rate of interest. If you compare the 4 types of deposit, commercial bank is liable to pay highest rate of interest only on term deposit, and the rate of interest varies from 6% to 12%. The rate of interest varies from 6% to 12%. Why commercial bank pays highest rate of interest is that commercial bank now pays highest interest rate because commercial bank the amount cannot be withdrawn before the expiry, before the maturity of the period. That is why commercial bank pays highest rate of interest on term deposit, on fixed deposit. A depositor cannot withdraw his money from the bank before the expiry, before the maturity of the period. And this is the deposit where the commercial bank has the large confidence. The commercial bank has the more confidence on that type of deposit, and suddenly the commercial bank will divert the deposit as a loan purpose. This is the point number 3. Last but not least here, recurring deposit. It is popularly known as RD. Recurring deposits are popularly known as your RDs. Nowadays, actually, you people are making the RDs actually. The parents are making RDs in your names actually. So, recurring deposits, there is a little point of difference between fixed term deposit and recurring deposit. Take for example, I am explaining. You make a fixed deposit of 5 lakhs. And at the same time, you make a recurring deposit of 5 lakhs. What is the difference? The difference is that in a fixed deposit of 5 lakhs, you have to deposit the amount in a one-time installment. In case of RD, you have to deposit the amount in monthly installment. For example, you are being given the time period of 5 years. Then each and every month, you have to deposit something to the bank. This is the point. In fixed deposit, you are depositing the amount at one time. In RD, you are depositing in monthly installment. Number 2, in fixed deposit, bank will pay you highest rate of interest. In RD, bank will pay you some interest lower than the fixed deposits. I hope you understand all type of deposits, current deposits, saving deposits, term deposits, recurring deposits. Current deposits, bank will never pay. Remember one thing. And current deposits, bank will never pay any interest rate. Why the question comes here? Everything is a logic, you should understand. You will be surprised that in each and every deposit, commercial bank is providing interest. But in current deposit, commercial bank will never pay interest. Why? Because current commercial bank doesn't feel confident about the current deposit. A depositor will go to the bank, today he deposits 1 lakh, tomorrow he withdraw 99,000. Again, the next day he comes with 2 lakh deposit, the next day he withdraw 1 lakh 80,000. So, in this situation, how the commercial bank will feel confident to divert the deposit for the loan purpose? Commercial bank cannot divert this type of deposit for the loan purpose. So, these are the details of deposits I told you. I think you understood all type of deposits. Then, the first point we discussed that about acceptance of deposits. Now, we'll go to discuss about advancement of loans. I told you the next task of commercial bank is to advance of the loan. And the loan should not be of bad debt. If the loan should not be of bad debt, if the loan is repaid within the time, then the profit of the commercial bank will be multiple. So, advancement of loan. When you talk about advancement of loan, then you can write about that call loan. The first point, very interesting point. Call loan. The name indicates demand loan or call loan. Call loan means what? The loan is repaid within 14 days. Be practical. Call loan means the loan is repaid within 14 days. When the loan is repaid within 14 days, it is not the loan that is sanctioned to the general customers. It is a loan that is being transaction for that is made for interbank financial transaction. Call loans are being made for interbank financial transaction. When some commercial banks are in the need of financial resources, some need of some capital, then it can approach to the other commercial banks, and the other commercial bank will provide that call loan facility up to payable up to maximum up to 14 days. Generally, the bank never charges any type of interest on call loans. It depends on the mutual understanding. That is why commercial bank never charges any interest on the call. First point. Then comes a short-term loans. You come out of second point. Short-term loans are being granted to the business persons, to the small farmers. Short-term loans are being granted to the business persons and small farmers to finance their working capital. Short-term loans are being granted to business person and to small farmer to finance their working capital. Remember one thing, there are two types of capital. One is your fixed capital, one is your working capital. So, to finance their working capital, commercial bank grants loan to the business persons and small farmers. That is called your short-term loan. When you talk about short-term loan, then will come one more facility, that is your cash credit system. Cash credit system. What will happen in this type of loan? An account will be opened in the name of the customer, in the name of the borrower. An amount will be pledged. An account will be opened, an amount will be pledged in the name of the borrower. And according to the need of the borrower will withdraw the money in installments as per his requirement. The borrower will withdraw his money from the account and from the amount sanctioned in installments. It is not necessary that he will withdraw the entire actual money at one time. It is not necessary that the borrower will withdraw the actual entire money at one shot, at one time. He can partially withdraw the money as per his requirement. That is called your cash credit. Next one comes your cash credit, your overdraft system. Overdraft. This is a very interesting point. Overdraft. Overdraft in a sense is actually this type of facility is being given for the support of the confidence of the customer, for the trust of the customer. You should be a trusty customer to make the facility of overdraft available for you. Take for example, you deposit an amount of 10 lakhs in the bank and in time you need the cash of 15 lakhs. But in the bank, your deposit is 10 lakhs. But you need 15 lakhs. On your trust, on your credit worthiness, on your transactions, the bank can provide you 15 lakhs without any security. One more important point is that, I am telling that while you talk about loan, you should understand 2 points very practically. That one is your mode of security and one is your rate of interest. One is your mode of security, one is your rate of interest. On first point, no security is required and no interest. No security, no interest. Second point, interest and security. Third point, interest, security. Overdraft, no security but interest on the amount withdrawn over your deposits. When you talk about overdraft facility, when you, for example, you have a deposit of 10 lakh in the bank and you need the cash of 15 lakhs. So bank will provide you 15 lakhs. So how much you need to repay? You need to repay only 5 lakhs. You need to repay 5 lakhs and you need to pay interest on the 5 lakhs, but not on 10 lakhs. Understood? And in this system, no security is required. This is the principle you have to understand. Very practical point. You should understand very simply. Overdraft means over your deposits. Overdraft means over your deposits. It depends on the credit worthiness of the customer. It depends on the trust and will of the customer, the confidence of the customer actually. Understood? This is the system of overdraft system. And one more point of loan is there, your credit card, CC. Credit card. Nowadays it's very popular in nowadays young generation actually. Young generations are doing credit cards actually. So they are telling, sir, we are doing shoppings, online shopping, all the things through credit card actually. But you should understand, let me tell you the difference between debit card and credit card. Debit card, you are using your own money. Credit card, you are using your bank money. Do not feel that in credit card, you are using your own money. Because after you use the credit card amount, the credit cards are balance, then you have to repay the amount to the bank. In credit card will be provided to the bank, to the customer, and the customer can use the card through any type of shopping, any type of purchase that the customer can use. Actually, it is a facility provided to fasten the process of digital India, to carry less cash. It is an advantage given to the privileged customers, not to all customers. It is an advantage given to the privileged and selected customers. This is your credit card. Credit card amount will be sanctioned for your card, and you can use your card at any time, at any place actually, where the facility is available, and you have to repay the amount, the loan, the credit card amount with some interest rate obligations. Remember one thing, there is a difference between credit card and debit card. Debit card, you are using your own money. Credit card, you are using your bank money. Never feel that in credit card, you are using your own money like that. This is a credit card. Last but not least, that is your discounting bills of exchange. Discounting bills of exchange. It is the last type of loan granted by commercial banks to the customers. Discounting bills of exchange. Commercial banks sometimes act as a mediator. It acts as an intermediary between the lender and between the borrower, between two parties. Remember one thing, between two parties. And for example, there are two parties. One is lender, one is your borrower. If the lender, after giving the loan to the borrower, needs urgency cash, needs immediate cash, so he can't offer to the second party. He cannot offer to the second party for repayment before the expiry, before the maturity. By that time, the lender will offer to the commercial bank for discounting the bills of exchange. For discounting the bills of exchange. And by that time, commercial bank will take that and will give the approved amount to the lender to meet this requirement. And once the bill is matured, once the bill is expired, then it will collect the entire amount from the second party, from the borrower, and will keep a certain charges for that, and will return and will collect from the lender actually. This is the process of discounting bills of exchange or advancing loans to the bills of exchange. These are the six ways through which a commercial bank advances loans to the needy customers. So we have discussed the important part of the commercial bank, acceptance of deposits and advancement of loans. In our further discussions, we will discuss about the remaining part. I hope you understand interesting part. Central bank and commercial bank. We have made the session very interesting by distinguishing. I am repeating the points once again for your understanding. Central bank and commercial bank. The structure of commercial bank starts from the division of central bank and commercial bank. In each and every country, there is a single central bank, but in each and every country, there is a more than one commercial bank. Central bank has the responsibility of maintaining price stability with economic growth. Commercial bank has the responsibility of getting profit motive. Central bank, I told you, central bank will central bank deal with the government. Central bank deal with the public. And commercial bank doesn't deal with the government. Central commercial bank always deal with the public directly. We have discussed about what is bank. We have discussed about commercial banks functions. In our further course of discussion, we will discuss all the things. I hope all of the concepts, you are very much clear about all the concepts. In our further parts, we will discuss the remaining part. Thank you very much.